Today I'm going to give you all the reasons why you really need to have a Les Paul Jr. So would you believe that this guitar started as a beginner model? It actually was the idea of it, kind of like the Fender Champ or something. It was the lower end, the very stripped down thing that a student could pick up and learn the guitar on that wasn't as much money. But just like the Champ, people realized that, hey, this is really awesome and you can use it for a lot of things. It just sounded great. It was a good guitar that was worth more than just kind of a throwaway beginner model. So this is the current run Gibson Les Paul Jr. I recently got my hands on this. I traded in for it and I played it in the store, and one of the things that really struck me about it was, you ever have one of those experiences where you pick up a guitar and you're just like, oh, this is like my guitar. This is me. It played and sounded so beautiful in such a way that I connected with. That's despite the fact that it was so poorly set up, it was barely playable. The action was awful. The neck was warped. The neck was like dry as a bone. And despite all that, it just played beautifully. It sounded beautiful, and I thought, like, that really says a lot. So now, why would you need one? That's of course the question that's on your mind. What is it about this guitar that really makes it so special? There are a number of things that make this guitar really special. First of all, I love the classic connection of it. There are a lot of less expensive models. There's, Gibson certainly has the tribute models, which are great. They have the studio models, which I've owned before, and those are great guitars too. And there have been a number of others as well, as like other brands and things. What's cool about this one is, for a little bit less money, it's still a little expensive, nowadays, but everything's expensive nowadays, so it's hard to gauge the price based on that. But for what it is, for the lower end Les Paul, and I don't say that meaning quality, I just mean based on features and price, it's connected to the past more, right? So if you're into vintage guitars and things, the Tributes is certainly cool. It's got its neat finishes and everything, but it's a modern take kind of on a stripped down vintage idea. The Studio, great guitar, but they didn't exist back in the 50s when the Les Paul came out. This is very, very similar to the same Les Paul Jr. that was around in the 1950s. There are, of course, some manufacturing differences and things, but the big question for a lot of people is one pickup enough? Now, I've watched a lot of Les Paul Jr. reviews, kind of gauging what other people are saying about it. And one of the things that many of them say about it is that having a single pickup really allows you to focus on the basics. So you're going to be more into your playing, and more into using the volume and the tone control to get your different sounds than switching pickups. And for people who don't like pedals, it's kind of the same idea as just like plugging into a guitar amp and using your volume and tone to control it. Kind of like that, but from the guitar end, right? The more you simplify it, the less you need to worry about all the extra stuff and just focus on your playing. Now, I agree with that, and I think there is something very liberating about it. Now, that's coming from somebody who likes to have multiple pickup selections. I love having this guitar. I think having a single pickup guitar is extremely useful, but I don't know that I could, I don't know that I'd ever really want to live without a guitar that had a good neck pickup. I love a good neck pickup too. But so my point is that is something that's beneficial, even if it's not the thing that you do all the time. But there's something else about this that I haven't heard other people mention, and this is something that has always struck me with single pickup guitars, whether it was an Esquire or this guitar or a number of other guitars. When you have a single pickup guitar, the sound is more natural and resonant in a way that I'm going to try and share with you. I don't know how well it's going to come across in a YouTube video, and I don't really have anything that's a one-off to compare it to. But there's something about the tone that is just so much more natural and organic, and almost has like that, the way you feel when you strum a chord on an acoustic guitar, and it's just you and the guitar, and it's just that sound, and you don't have to worry about anything else. It's kind of like that. Now, I'm sure that one of the reasons for that is, if you think about it, there's at least 50% less magnetic pull on the strings, right? Obviously, pickups have magnets in them, and the magnets pull on the strings a little bit even when you're not on that pickup. They're just magnets and metal there. So when you have less pull on the strings are going to vibrate more and for longer without the magnets kind of pulling them down. Also could be something to be said for the fact that it has inherently less wiring in it. It's got a volume and a tone knob and an output, as opposed to having a switch and a number of other controls in there for some guitars. But there is something about it that it's just so natural. It's just so kind of like you just hit that chord, you just lean into that note or that bend, and you're like, this is just the sound. It just sounds so good and so rich and so real in a way that you somehow notice it more with this guitar than with other guitars. Now, this modern one is all mahogany. It, of course, has the single Gibson dog ear P90. It has a 50s profile neck, which I absolutely love. It's a chunkier neck, and that's another one. It's just such a comfortable neck that you can really kind of grab onto. And that's basically it. It's, it comes in the tobacco sunburst finish like this. I believe it also comes in a black finish, and you just get this awesome, straightforward rocker that you can just take out and not worry about anything and just kind of play and just immerse yourself in the tone. Now, if you're somebody who is interested in this guitar and you want to check it out, you will find a link to where you can buy this below. That is an affiliate link. If you shop through that link, that helps support my channel. I get a little commission from anything that you buy through that link at no additional cost to you. Now, I'm going to put a link to both the Gibson and the Epiphone model, because Epiphone also makes a Les Paul Jr. Now, I have not played that. I want to be upfront about that. I haven't played it, but it is significantly less money, and I have been very, very impressed with Epiphone's production lately. I have owned or played a number of modern Epiphone guitars, and they're really doing a killer job too. So if, single pickup guitar is something you're just like, geez, it would be cool, but I can't justify the price, I think the Epiphone one would definitely be worth checking out. So I'm going to put links to both of those in the description. If you shop through those, that's going to help support the channel while you get cool gear at the same time. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you will also find a tip jar below. And hey, you can download some music. I'm just saying, you can do it. So today I am playing into my Supro Black Magic, and I am using a Boss Blues Driver. Straight into the Blues Driver, straight into the amp, and then that's it. And I'm just using the volume and the tone controls. You heard that a little bit at the jam at the beginning. Now I'm going to play through a couple of different tones here. I'm going to give you a nice example of the clean and really working on that volume, because, again, this is another one that somehow when you roll the volume off on this, I don't know, it just seems there's just more you and the guitar. So, I'm certainly one who uses the volume a lot anyway, but I notice it more on this guitar, the kind of distinct difference that it makes. So I'm going to play some clean tone, going to play some more overdriven tones, and also at the end going to play a little bit of Mississippi Queen, which was also, a Les Paul Jr. song with the tone rolled off, and it just sounds totally awesome. So let us know what you think. Is the Les Paul Jr. something that you're interested in? Is it something that you've always kind of toyed with the idea of, but never really, made the leap? Or are there other single pickup guitars that you like? Are you more of a fan of the Esquire? Do you like the idea of the Firebird 1 or whatever other guitars are out there? Of course, there's a slew of jazzy style guitars that have a single neck pickup, but let us know what you like. I'm Jack Fossett. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.